Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I'm bringing you another buyer's guide, sticking to the kind of Le Mans theme we've got going on at the minute. I will kind of swap and swap between different classes, but we're kind of focusing on some of the Le Mans machines currently. Obviously we did the two Audis, we've obviously done the hypercar in the past, and now we are covering this, the Peugeot 908 HDI. Kind of one of the poster boys for Gran Turismo in a lot of the screenshots. Not really features much in GT7. Kind of forgotten about, apart from I believe the lap challenges it features for the Le Mans ones. But yeah, apart from that, it's not really seen much in the game. Kind of forgotten about. Sat in the dealership, sat in the Peugeot dealer for $1 million, so not too bad at all. Some of the Le Mans, cars go up to around about 3 million. This is at $1 million, so kind of the lower end of that spectrum of cars. So yeah, not a bad price at all. So let's get on to the lap, and let's kind of speak about, I guess, the only really downside of this car that I can think of. I just want to get the kind of more negative points out of the way first, and there's only one single one, but it's kind of bit of a, I guess, a bit of a biggie. If you've done the Le Mans circuit experience, you may be kind of aware of this. I've only really noticed it mainly with this car. The other Le Mans cars don't really feel like or seem to do this. Basically, if you are going through one of the high-speed corners, this thing likes to kind of catch itself and fling itself into a barrier. I kind of had this happen to me a couple of times through the circuit experience when I was doing the Le Mans one, and then I had it once on a kind of first try of this quite far into the lap. It basically did it where it just kind of threw itself into a barrier, and I kind of had to do the lap again. For those of you who don't know, basically these cars get one chance to complete a full kind of error-free lap, and by error I mean like crash-free. Little errors and such that kind of come down to how the car handles and such, I will keep them in. It is, it's part of the car. I'm not going to kind of, make the car, seem too much better than it actually is or anything like that. But if it does have a big crash, I will kind of restart the lap. So basically one clean lap where the car doesn't kind of throw itself in. No tuning allowed. The only thing I can do is put liveries on, no body kits, etc. So that is the negative out of the way, really, is just the fact that sometimes it kind of throws itself into a barrier. The way to kind of like ensure the car doesn't do this is if you're going absolutely flat out into a corner and you can make it, just do a slight lift off the throttle and it shouldn't do it. Kind of adjust yourself around this car. Overall though, very, very quick car. Kind of the 2011 Audi that we tested had a great sense of speed and was very, very quick, and I kind of felt like that was a massive benchmark for a time. Then we tried the 2016 Le Mans Audi, and that absolutely smashed the lap. The only kind of downside to that, obviously with it being, I believe, a hybrid power unit, was that the kind of boost you get at the start ran out very quickly down the straight, which meant its top end just wasn't kind of there compared to the older Audi, which had a fairly good top end. The Peugeot is kind of more like the old Audi in the fact that obviously it's not a hybrid power unit or anything as such. It is just pure raw, speed. There's no boost or anything like that, no DRS in this car. Obviously a older, model of Le Mans car. Very, very good top end speed, and the way this thing carries itself through the corners is absolutely immense. Like I said, the only downside is those faster corners. Just be aware sometimes, obviously, because it kind of does it out of the blue. Just be aware that you might need to kind of lift off a little bit. It seems to only be kind of specific corners that it kind of does it at. There was one corner towards the end of the lap that it kind of liked to, that do it at here. And at Le Mans, again towards the end of the lap, there was a corner there where it kind of liked to throw itself. Once you've kind of learnt where it kind of does it, you won't really make that mistake again because you'll be kind of prepared and ready for it. So obviously there's no other real downsides to this car. I mean, the speed's good, the way it carries itself through the faster corners is great. Like I said, just adjust your driving style, according to the car. Low speed corners, it's absolutely fine. There's a few moments where it kind of feels like it might break traction, but it kind of doesn't. It seems to pretty much stay planted the whole time. Running curbs is not too bad. Some cars do like to kind of really twitch out the rear end when you hit a curb. This car's not really got that problem, and even if it does feel like it's going to break traction, it's quite easy to kind of reel it back in some of the like lower to medium speed corners. Just be kind of aware on the faster corners because of obviously the thing that I mentioned with the car kind of throwing itself into the barrier. The sector of the track that we're in now, for me, is like, I've mentioned this in pretty much all these buyer's guides, is obviously, it's make or break for a lot of the cars. A lot of the cars will be very quick on a straight, but then perform very weak through here. And it's a good section to kind of feel where a car's at. So obviously you've got the very quick part, which it's going through now. And then, there's some of the other bits are a bit lower speed, medium speed corners, where, a car can prove itself there as well. And this car just, it hung in there. There was no kind of worry or kind of, dread of like, oh, it's not going to be able to get, through this corner very well, or such like that. I mean, I've ran this track, ran the Nordschleife for so many times in different cars that you kind of expect where a car's going to struggle. And at no point through that sector did I think, yeah, this car's going to struggle. So obviously we get onto the big back straight here. For me, one of the better kind of angles for the replay, I guess you could say. The fact that these sleek, fast cars like to bump about, and you can just see them shifting constantly over the bumpy surface. It's absolutely awesome to see. And then obviously it's just cleared the straight in no time. And then it gets to the point where you have to kind of get down the gears and get these last couple of corners done for the full lap. As you can see, it's going to have no major problems through there. Nice and smooth. Coming up to the last corner now, and it's just going to get down the gears and straight across the line. So an absolutely epic, fast lap. Really enjoyed it. Felt like I was on the edge of this car the whole time. Felt like I absolutely nailed it. Some cars you kind of feel like you could have maybe done a bit better, but this car, just no such problems there. It just absolutely smashed the lap. No worries throughout, an awesome car. So let's go and have a look at some of the onboard footage. So I absolutely love these kind of camera angles, the onboard footage. It's one of the best parts of making these videos. It's just seeing how these kind of faster cars just eat up these corners. And as you're going to see after the carousel, where it's a little bit kind of, I guess, a bit shifty through there, it just starts eating up these corners and, carrying just some insane speed. A lot of cars, like I said, through here just make a break. Some of them, they'll lose a massive amount of traction in the slower corners, or they'll just be really slow through the faster corners. This one, it just eats them all up. It's not bothered what kind of corner it is. It's just going to absolutely nail it. And that's kind of the thing I like to do, is like look back at some of the kind of slower classes and see how they take this sector, and then obviously look at these much faster Le Mans classes and such, and just see how quick they are through there. The amount of speed they carry through is just absolutely insane. And the absolute sound and the detail of these onboard views as well, it's absolutely awesome. But as you can see through this is kind of like the really fast sector, and it just does it no problem at all. It's just going to eat it up, and then you're going to hit some insane speed down this back part, and there's some really awful bumps that kind of look like they're going to catch the car off, but they don't. It kind of really proved itself through here. And then obviously we're going to get into this last little bit, and it's nice and smooth through there, and then we're going to get on the back straight soon, where it's just going to fly off and just hit some insane speeds there, well over 200 miles an hour. Definitely not a slouch there. So it's about 20 miles an hour up on the, I believe, the Audi R18. That's the 2016 model. Obviously once that hybrid system's kind of lost its charging, you're not braking to kind of get it back up. It kind of lacks off a bit on these back straights. This car, no such problem, just absolutely nails it. As you can see, bouncing around over the bump. So an absolutely awesome lap. Loved the car. So here are your individual sector times, and as you can see, overall we did it in a 5 minutes 41.084. So a really quick lap. For those of you that want to kind of look through the individual sectors and kind of maybe compare your times to mine, just feel free to pause it at this point in the video. So yeah, I mean, overall an absolutely pretty insane lap. And if you've been watching this series for a while and keeping up with the lap time leaderboard, you're going to know, yep, it's got top place. So there we go. First place, a new leader for 2 videos in a row, I believe. Obviously overtaking the Audi R18 2016 model by around about just over 4 seconds. So an absolutely insane lap. I really didn't expect it to kind of overtake the more modern cars. As you can see, the hybrid there in third. and the Audi R18 2011 model in fourth, I expected the Peugeot to be kind of more on par with the 2011 Audi. So overall, I'm guessing you're going to kind of know what I'm going to say here. A very positive outlook on this car. Absolutely awesome. Apart from that, just issue, I guess. With the car, with it kind of just throwing itself into a barrier through some of the high-speed corners. As long as you adjust your driving style, you're not gonna really run into that issue. But a very drivable car, and actually very good for grinding money. I did kind of get recommended this car for a money guide, and I kind of thought, do you know what, I'll do a buyer's guide, and I'll kind of look into making some money with it. So I may bring that video, soon. I may not. I'm going to kind of test it out. So thanks for whoever recommended that video. I may make it, I might not. But yeah, that is going to be the end of the video. A definite must buy, another Le Mans car down. The leaderboard really coming alive now. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next one. Take care, guys. Look after yourselves.